Hey everybody, let's take 5 minutes out of our day and meditate on God's Word together. Character matters, and that's why we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit. F.F. Bruce said that where love is present, the other virtues will not be far away. And so Paul begins the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians 5 with love, and it's followed second by joy. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Joy is not exactly the same thing as happiness. Often we may look at happiness as having good things around us. Our circumstances are good, and so we feel the emotion of happiness. Joy, on the other hand, goes much deeper than happiness because it's not based on circumstances. Even if our circumstances are challenging or uncomfortable, joy gives us new perspective because we know our identity and we have our meaning in Jesus Christ. It is the Spirit that produces all of these, and it is the Spirit that gives us joy, not our circumstances. And so in Philippians 4, Paul can say that we should rejoice in the Lord always. And he emphasizes it, again I say rejoice. And he's saying this to a church that's having lots of problems. They're under assault from some enemies who are the enemies of the cross, Paul says in Philippians 3:18. They are facing internal division, and Paul himself says this as he is in prison. He calls them his joy and his crown because he can look at them in spite of their problems, in spite of his own problems, and rejoice because of Jesus. He's rejoicing in the Lord. And so Paul says what this looks like is, I can do all things through Christ. Philippians 4:13. Not that there's any sort, he can defy physics or there's any sort of cosmological thing that can happen, but he's saying I can endure all circumstances because of Jesus. I know how to abound. I know how to live right when I have a lot of stuff, a lot of good things around me, but I know how to be in want. I know how to live when I don't have good circumstances because I can do it all through Jesus. He is my strength. And the New Testament writers will even tell us that we can joy in suffering. We can rejoice in the fact that sometimes we suffer for Jesus because we know that that's leading us more into the image of Jesus Christ. It is the Spirit that gives joy, not ourselves. Sometimes we have the idea that if I do enough, I'll be happy, I'll have joy. If I love enough, if I serve enough, if I create enough, if I learn enough, if I explore enough, if I give enough and control enough, if I feel enough, then I'll have joy. We can't produce joy. This is a product of the Spirit. And so he gives us joy. There was one occasion where the apostles of Jesus were sent out on a limited commission to preach and cast out demons and heal the sick. And they were amazed at this. They came back to Jesus rejoicing and said, the spirits are subject to us. We're controlling demons. But Jesus lets a little air out of their balloon by saying, don't rejoice because the spirits are subject to you. Rejoice that your names are written in the book of life. Your names are written in heaven. God does the writing, not us. And so we can have comfort in that. Do not rejoice because of circumstances or ourselves, but rejoice because God gives us joy. In Psalm 16:11, we read that in your presence there is fullness of joy. It is because of our relationship with God. It is because of His presence in our life. We're living like we were meant to live with God in union. That's what gives us joy. When we keep our eyes on Jesus, we are seeing reality. We're not seeing the shadows around us, but we're seeing what is real, and that gives us joy. One of my teachers quoted an old saying that think of joy like this, J-O-Y, Jesus first, others second, yourself last. When you do that, you will have joy because the Spirit produces it in you. The Spirit also produces the fruit of peace. We'll talk about that next time we take 5. I'll see you then.